My name is Liz Keating, and my educational giant report is on Catharine Esther Beecher. Catharine Esther Beecher was born on September 6, 1800, in East Hampton, Long Island. She was the oldest daughter of 13 kids belonging to Lyman and Roxana Ward Beecher. Her father was a Presbyterian minister who had a lot of influence in religious movements of his time, and her mother was committed to teaching her kids domestic skills. Catharine was never really interested in learning these domestic skills, but wanted to play outside and get out in the community. The Beecher family was very influential as a whole. They were all pretty much involved in significant roles in history, including educational reform, the revision of the Calvinist theology, abolition, and women's suffrage. The Beechers moved to Litchfield, Connecticut, where Catharine attended Miss Pierce's School for Young Women. She learned so many skills here. She learned leadership qualities and social skills and was doing well here, but her mother died when she was 16 her mother died of tuberculosis when Catharine was 16, and then Catharine was forced to go back home and take care of all her siblings. Her father got remarried, and she had the opportunity to get a teaching job in New London, Connecticut. At 22, Catharine was engaged to a Yale professor, Alexander Fisher, but unfortunately lost him in a shipwreck and was never married to anyone. So after she lost her fiance, she focused all her energy on the education of women. This is when she opened up her first school in 1824 with the help of her brother Edward and her sister Mary. Catharine opened Hartford Female Seminary in Connecticut. At first, Catharine and Mary were the only teachers, so she found a lot of the books unsatisfactory and decided to write her own. That's so cool because who says, I don't like this book, so let me just write a new one. There at the school, the students were taught rhetoric, logical, natural, and moral philosophy, chemistry, history, Latin, algebra, and drawing. So for this being her first time doing something like this, she really had a good start on things. Beecher's two main goals were to teach mothers how to care for their families and to prepare teachers to educate children from unfortunate homes. Her two goals actually conflicted with each other. If Catharine Beecher had educated all mothers, then there would have been no need for the role of women teachers in society. Most 19th century girls expected to marry and manage homes, and they felt like they didn't need any formal education, but Catharine argued that running a home was as complicated as running a business, and that a young woman should be instructed in these responsibilities the same way that boys receive instruction in their careers. Using her own example, Catharine Beecher wanted to prepare young women for the future and train them to become teachers. A woman's work is really hard, and Beecher thought it should be recognized as that. She wanted to give the woman a chance to get some formal learning and get a better education. Beecher defined women's work as educating young children, caring for newborn babies, caring for children and the sick, and attending the management of the household, which included a lot. Designing and furnishing new houses, selecting and managing fuel supplies of kitchen stoves and furnaces, selecting and preparing foods, and planning and making clothes. To teach mothers how to care for their families and gain more domestic skills, she wrote a book called Treatise on Domestic Economy in 1841. Today, many fail to comprehend the big responsibility of everyday life that the women had in the 1840s. They used to tumble dry fabrics and make clothes and make patterns and stitch clothing and every curtain and every cloth that you could that we use today. Catharine adapted her ideas of the role of women in homes, and so she wrote a sequel to a treatise on domestic economy called The American Woman's Home. and she actually wrote this with her sister Harriet. Catharine also wrote many other things that were influential to her time, especially learning of the things they could do, females learning the things they could do. While she believed running a home and raising a family was important and influential, she also felt that women should be given more responsibility and respect outside of the home. So Beecher challenged the original ideas of what women in the 19th century should do. She believed women needed an education and it should prepare them for the roles of responsibility to train them as teachers and a natural extension of the woman's roles in the family. In 1829, she published a seminal essay on the importance of women as teachers, Suggestions Respecting Improvements in Education. In this essay, she promoted women as natural teachers, but also said that there should be an expansion and development of teacher training programs, claiming that the work of a teacher was more important than even a doctor or even a lawyer. Beecher was very much aware that women's talents were wasted if women in the upper middle class were not married and had no children. The women class were basically ornaments, as you would say, in their father's parlors, just sitting there waiting. There was nothing that an unmarried woman could do except sit in her home and let her talents be wasted and unused. So Catharine Beecher tried to change this, and she wanted women to become teachers. So women teachers, one thing that was very beneficial is that they were cheaper and they were naturally good with kids. Catharine Beecher saw teaching as a woman's moral calling and fought for the women's rights to take teaching to the next level.